This is PJNET.TV, and this is my perspective and comments. In this video segment of My Perspective and Comments, we cover politics, society here and abroad, and the events of the day that are shaping our nation. PJNET.TV, My Perspective and Comment, coming to you with a worldview, one nation under God. Welcome to My Perspective and Comments. And I would like to start out this week talking about some New York news. And it's something that we've talked about last week and throughout this year. Governor Andy Cuomo. Well, this past week I was shocked when I heard it, but he has resigned. And the pressure, Letitia James, the Attorney General for New York, last week came out and said that they had found that indeed Andy was in their investigation, their findings show that Andy was guilty of, in their findings, of harassment and pressure of women and sexual harassment. And they were going to be moving forward to in that matter. And the legislature in New York, Biden and Harris all spoke up talking about Cuomo and those problems. And he has stepped down. Now, who will be taking over as governor right now is the lieutenant governor. Her name is Kathy Hochul, and she is a native of Buffalo, New York. So she's an upstater. And I would consider her, when it comes to Democrats, not as far left as Andy Cuomo. She definitely is edging towards the middle, as Democrats will do. We'll see how her legislative style is, but I think there's 100% improvement compared to Andy Cuomo. He was a dictator and he was vicious, and if you crossed him, he would be looking for payback. So it looks like New Yorkers are free from from this tyrant and dictator. So Kathy Hochul will be taking the reins, but again, I had mentioned Letitia James, and there's a good possibility that she might be running for governor when they actually have the next election. Kathy Hochul, she's a lawyer and a politician, and she served as the 57th governor. She'll be the 57th governor of New York following Andy leaving. And Hochul has been serving as lieutenant governor of New York since 2015. And she will be the first female governor of New York. I'd like to talk a bit about the Canadian government. In fact, they had on August 9th, they lifted their restriction, but now people can start crossing the border, the Canadian border. Only deal is with Canada is that you have to be fully vaccinated if you want to cross the border, and they consider non-essential travel into their country. So if you want to go and vacation in Canada, you have to have the jab. And I'll tell you, I liked Canada. I like traveling Canada. Nova Scotia is beautiful. Cape Breton, which is on Nova Scotia, beautiful. Ocean and mountains all in one, and a great scenery and atmosphere there. But Canada, hey, there are other vacation spots I can go to, and I'm not dealing with Canada, especially knowing what they've been doing to churches and the lockdowns and sending their police thugs in to grab pastors and throw them in jail. So, this Trudeau, too, Prime Minister there in Canada, is a piece of work and a far lefty socialist, and that might be part of the dysfunction in Canada. But that's what Canada's doing right now, is they are lessening their restrictions as far as travel between the states and their country. But Canada, you won't be seeing my vacation dollars anytime soon. Like to talk about the Defense Department and their requirements. They're telling all active duty military members that they're going to have to get the jab. So the Secretary Lloyd Austin said this on August 9th, that the requirement would be in place. It's not in place now, but they're looking to move forward on this. Not really sure, maybe a week, 2, or a month out. But I'm already seeing that their groups are coming together, and they might be looking at exemptions for some of the troop members. I know a religious exemption is one that I've heard mentioned. So there's going to be some pushback there, and I really think that the troops need to have some legal representation to push back against this, what they're trying to do here. The woke military now seems to be what's taking place right now, and Biden's pushing that issue also. And the Senate has passed a so-called bipartisan. They can call it bipartisan all they want, but what they did is you've got all the Democrats and liberal Republicans, yes, rhinos, the Mitch McConnell bunch, those sellouts and those rhinos that are falling into the so-called GOP leadership, and shameful what they've done. And Mitch McConnell initially said no, he wasn't going to go down that road. But these rhinos, that's what they ended up doing. They passed in this infrastructure bill and a budget resolution that paves the way for Democrats in their $3.5 trillion spending package. And I just want to go over right now the sellouts. And again, I don't want us to forget either what we heard, 9 years ago now, 8 years, 8 years ago, 9 years ago, when it was Barack Obama was in power with Biden. And, you heard the rhetoric coming out of Mitch McConnell and the leadership. Just give us the House. Just give us the Senate. And we need the presidency. And this was the time where they had Obamacare, and they were running on repealing and replacing it. And that's what they said. Just give us the 3 branches and we will repeal and replace. And as soon as that happened, the do-nothing GOP, they did nothing. And then that was the famous McCain, thumbs down on anything to do with repealing and replacing. So I just like to go over so that you know who these sellouts are. And these are the very ones that Mitch McConnell will be tapping on the shoulder for leadership positions. And they're the last ones that should be anywhere near leadership, but some of them are right there now. But we'll go down the list. Roy Blunt, Richard Burr, Shelley Capito, Bill Cassidy, Susan Collins, Kevin Kramer, Mike Crapo, Deb Fisher, Lindsey Graham, Chuck Grassley, John Hogan, Mitch McConnell, Lisa Murkowski, Rob Portman, James Rich, Mitt Romney, Dan Sullivan, Tom Tillis, and Roger Wicker. Our GOP leaders, our senators that are supposedly representing us, and this $3.5 trillion spending package. We can't afford it, but these GOP governors went right along with the Democrats, and they need to go. They need to go. And if you're in any one of these states, these senators need to be marked for the out. Give them the boot. They need to go. And many of these were in that crowd that were saying, yes, you give us a House Senate presidency and we're going to repeal and replace Obamacare. And guess what? It never happened. Then the excuses started to come out when it comes to, well, we actually can't do it. So it's time that they pay a price when they sabotage America and they sell out. They sell us out. And what I'd like to do at this point, again, I want to have two senators, not from this do-nothing crowd, but some senators that have been standing tall and pretty vocal regarding this infrastructure bill. We're going to be hearing from, and you've heard from this senator, he's been standing tall when it comes to COVID, and he's also been right out front here with this infrastructure bill. Rand Paul we will be hearing from, and we'll also be hearing from John Kennedy, and he's got a few things to say about this infrastructure bill and budget resolution. So I'd like you to take a look here as these senators kind of lay out exactly what was in this crap bill, and what they thought of the process, and where do we go from here now, and how will this affect Americans, this $3.5 trillion spending package that's out there. So here, I'd like you to take a listen here and watch Senator Rand Paul and Senator John Kennedy. Here, take a look.